Hello, 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 and thank you for joining me for another Nene moment. This is a special day. Not just like it's a lot of things special about today. But I was just, having a little moment and wanting to laugh about, me saying today is a special day. But it is a special day, and the reason why I say it's a special day because yesterday, well, early this morning, I submitted my first round of editing back to my editor. And I had attached, things, exercises, and worksheets that I would like to go into my book. But I'm so happy that I got it done. I had already edited on the paper, but I just needed to key all the edits in. And so while I was reading it, it dropped a lot of nuggets in my spirit again. I'm going to need to read that book over and over again. But it's like yesterday, I don't know why, but my car been fine this whole time. Then all of a sudden, it started leaking green stuff. And then once somebody said your car gonna start running hot, then it started running hot. I need people to keep their mouth shut, okay? Not just like. But so that's what happened. So, yesterday I had got real overwhelmed. Like, okay, Lord, you got this laid in front of me, this laid in front of me. Everything is going my way. I'm just a lot of things is opening up. And so it's like when this happened, it was just like, Lord, I have all these appointments set, and then you gonna shut it down like that? Okay. All I can say to try to sum it up and not, speak riddles like my son say. But just literally, lately I had heard in one of the motivational speeches I was listening to, it said, start asking God what is his will for your day. And so here lately, I'm not tripping off of it. I say my prayer, I meditate and everything else, and then at the end of it I say, Lord, your will for my day. So yesterday, got up, doing everything, getting ready for my appointments and everything else, and guess what? I noticed this stream of green stuff by my car, this puddle of green stuff, on and on and on. Anyway, to make a long story short, my car is not up under warranty no more. Remember, if you heard in previous videos, my car is paid off, the warranty is gone and everything. And so I'm just like, oh, Lord Jesus, what is going on? Okay, so anyway, I got overwhelmed. So instead of me trying to figure out what I wanted to do yesterday, I just said, take me home so I can just be alone. And I went home and I just was alone, and I was sitting there, and all that overwhelming feeling and that anxiety disappeared. I was no longer anxious. I wasn't worried about my car. I'm like, you know what? Now I can sit my butt still and finish my book. So I flowed and just typed up all my edits, realized what worksheets that I have already made up. I have made notes of what worksheets and exercises I want to add, and at like 12:30 something this morning, I submitted my first round of editing back to the editor. And I realized that I had journaled about that because I have had my writing back from the editor for about 2 weeks now. And the first week I had kind of dibbled and dabbled with it because I was focusing on passing my exam. And so now that I had passed my exam, I'm celebrating, I'm flowing through life, and I'm just making appointments because I want to share the information that is benefiting me and things that we have not known. And so I've been making all these appointments, so I had pretty much pushed my book to the back of the shelf. But he shut everything down for me to get overwhelmed and say, you know what, let me back in the corner and let me think about what I need to do for me to get my book done. That is off my plate. I was able to prioritize my day and everything else. And everyone that was supposed to be of assistance to me was right there in place at the proper time. I appreciate everyone who was willing to help, that was willing to drive way from over there to over here to get me and everything else. But I'm happy that, someone closer was able to take me to go get my car, well, me a rental. And with the information that I'm learning, I saved over $100. I went from paying $255 to $155, $150 some dollars, for my rental. And that's just with the information that I'm learning from the financial services classes that I'm going to. And so it's like, If I wouldn't have edited my book last night, I can guarantee you that today I would have woke up and I would have felt overwhelmed, because I would have been looking for people to be available to serve me that I thought should serve me. But when I was reading and editing my book, or, putting the notes in, making the edits on the computer, I was reading that you have to pour into those that pour into you. A friend of mine has said you measure your friends by how many excuses they give when you ask for help, or if they are there at all when you ask for help. And if I wouldn't have read that last night in my writing and everything else like that, I guarantee you this morning, when I had called this place and they was too high, and I called this place and they was too high, I guarantee you I would have got overwhelmed again like I did yesterday, because I have so many things coming up, and all the money that's coming in, I want to put it on something else. I don't want to put it on fixing my car. So all this money coming in, I want to have fun with it and not have fun, but, reinvest it to do more things that I want to do. But it all was according to plan to shut me down to meet the time frame that I had wrote down and made plain that I wanted to do. And that was submit my writings back to the editor by Wednesday. And even though I made it at 12:30 something today, but I completed it and everything else. So I am happy for that. And so anything, if you are journaling, or you are, a person who write poems, meditate, whatever the case may be, when you write down a vision and when you make it plain and clear, walk towards it. Walk towards it, walk towards it, walk towards it. Because you don't want your car to mess up just for you to not be able to go nowhere, for you to be able to be focused on what you said that you wanted to accomplish. If you write it down and make it plain, especially if you put a deadline on that mug. I love journaling and I love writing it down and make it plain, but what I'm realizing, when you write a time frame on that mug, you better do everything you can to try to work towards it, because other than that, you're going to get yourself in an overwhelming situation to the point to where it's going to sit you down to where all you can do is focus on what you have put that time frame on. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Everything is supposed to be in proper balance. Okay? As much energy as you put out into the world, you got to put that energy back in. As much as you sit up here and you work and do things in other areas, you have to apply that same energy to what God has called you to do. Because other than that, you're going to get confused. Stuff going to start breaking down. God is not an author of confusion. So if you say you want something, you better walk towards it. Because other than that, your life going to get very confusing, because you asked him for something and he done gave it to you. So go ahead and walk in your blessings. Be clear about what are you asking for. When you put a time frame on it, make sure you do everything to make steps towards it every day. Other than that, your surroundings gonna close in on you. You're gonna get overwhelmed. Everything gonna be in chaos and confusion, and you ain't gonna have nothing to do but to focus on what you were supposed to be focused on in the first place. So please don't get pushed into that uncomfortable position. Be a willing servant to listen to the nudging of the Spirit. Find time for everything, and always make steps towards your ultimate goal, especially if you put a time frame on it. Have a great day, and thank you for joining me for another Nene Moment.